Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Big Girl Brunch. I am sorry in advance. I remember telling you last month that babawi ako sa editing this month. Um, dahil last month, 'di ba, no cuts 'yon as far as I remember. Um, so sabi ko babawiin ko sa editing this month. Hindi ko siya magagawa kasi September 29 na, September 30 na bukas. It is the last day of September. So I have to get this out. So ayun, sorry ulit. Sinasabi ko lang kasi I want Hello. Sorry, maingay yung motor sa labas. Sinasabi ko lang kasi I want you to know that I remember pero hindi ko lang kayang panindigan. So before tayo mag-start sa episode na to, gusto ko magbigay ng updates sa buhay ko, I guess. Also, nagtatagalog ako kasi mas madali sa akin na no cuts if I'm not strictly speaking in English. I don't know, we'll just code switch this whole episode, I guess. But yeah, for live updates, what happened in September? I think there are only two main personal things that happened this month. The first, they're both travel related. They're both travel related, so I guess it is very relevant to our topic already. But I got to go to Nairobi, Kenya for work, and I'll talk more about it later. But it was a good experience. It was my first time in Africa. I was so gagged that I was there at all, that I got to go to Africa at all in this lifetime. And I also got to go to Coron, Palawan for work. And it was so lovely. I I maganda talaga sa Pilipinas. Kaya maraming foreigner na nagpupunta dito kasi maganda talaga sa Pilipinas. And mura yung pagkain at usually makakahanap ka ng masarap na pagkain anywhere. Which I won't say is the case for the other places I've visited so far. So, ayun lang naman. I guess we can jump into the topic itself because wala naman pala akong masyadong i-update sa inyo bukod dun. Tapos, related pa sa topic natin. So, sige. Today, naisip ko na ang pag-usapan natin ay traveling experiences from a non-traveler. So, siguro may mga mag-iisip sa inyo kung nakikita niyo yung iba kong posts. Paano ako naging non-traveler kung lagi akong nakakaalis for work. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng aking traveling background. So, alam naman nating lahat na ang traveling, especially when it's your whole family, it's for the upper middle class, pataas, and wala kami sa bracket na yun. Hindi kami nagta-travel to other places. Unlike other families na makikita mo na bagong destination yung pinupuntahan nila every summer, pag nasa school kayo, hindi kami ganun. Pero, I did get to go to a different place every summer. Ibig ko sabihin, nakakaalis ako ng bahay ko every summer, pero isang lugar lang yung lagi namin pinupuntahan. My whole childhood, usually during Holy Week, I would spend it in Bicol, specifically Albay. Dahil, sorry ang ingay, ano ba yun? Anyway, no cut, so I guess you'll just hear that. So, ano sinasabi ko? So I would spend, what the heck, ang dami naman nangyayari, wait, I just have to take my medicine. Sorry guys, I'm still here, ASMR will happen. okay na. Nainom ko na yung pill ko para sa mga hindi nanonood. Anyway, sorry pa ulit-ulit. Okay, so every summer, nung bata ako, we would go to Bicol, specifically Albay, because my lola from my mom's side is from Bicol. And close kami sa mother side ko. Especially sa mother side ko, if that makes sense. So, pumupunta kami doon. We have a rest house there. Family rest house, big family rest house. Hindi sa amin specifically as a nuclear family. So, we would spend like a week or two there. And nasa harap lang namin yung beach. Tapos, manonood kami ng procession for Holy Week dun sa iba namin kamag-anak. So, ganun yung summers namin. So, while I wasn't traveling with my family to all of these different places, I would still go somewhere for summer. Hindi yun nawawala until tumanda na kami. As in senior high na yata ako nung hindi na kami pumupunta sa Bicol. So, when we go to Bicol, we do not ride the plane. So, every year, we would make ourselves fit in one van and travel for 12 hours to go to Albay. So, when I travel, I'm not just with my mom or my siblings. I am with my titos, my titas, my lola, my cousins. Kasya pa kaming lahat nun kasi maliliit pa kami. Bata pa kami, so walang problema. Pero it's one of my most treasured experiences, getting to go to my lola's hometown every summer. Hindi ako marunong mag-Bicol, pero pamilyar ako sa mga pagkain nila, pamilyar ako sa mga produkto nila, sa mga lugar na kinalakhan ng lola ko. Gusto ko yung pagkain nila. So, and syempre pag bata ka, tapos nakakapunta kayo sa beach every summer, masaya siya. Lalo na, I think, what made the experience more special is that wala kaming internet and signal dun sa rest house where we stay. So, pag nandun kami, as in kwentuhan lang talaga, or basa ka, or nood kang movie, swimming ka sa dagat, or lakad-lakad kayo, libot-libot kayo. Kasi, hindi ka pwedeng mag-text sa mga kaibigan mo. Hindi ka rin makakapag-internet. Pero nung first few years naman ang punta namin, di naman talaga kami nag-internet. Parang hindi pa naman uso mag-internet nun. So, nung medyo huli na lang, talaga sumikat yung internet and social media. Tas medyo mas na-feel na namin yung impact na walang internet at walang signal. Other than going to Bicol, we sometimes, yung nuclear family ko, by nuclear family, I mean my mom and my two siblings, my mom, since she's a single mom, mahirap magpondo ng pag-travel sa summer. Like, hindi siya mura to bring your family somewhere kahit na hindi naman ganun kalayo. Kasi isipin mo, yung travel nyo, pagkakagastusan nyo, yung transportation mismo, yung accommodation, yung pagkain, tapos entrance fee for wherever you're going. Kung mag-isa ka lang, okay lang. Pero kung tatlo yung anak mo, hindi siya mura. Lalo na kung ikaw yung main provider ng family. Pero I remember my mom would still try her best to look for the most affordable places for us to see. pumunta kami sa Taal, Batangas, which is such a nice town, very, very quaint, and lahat ng establishments mukhang luma kahit bago sila. We've gone to Dingalan with one of my cousins and one of my tito. Meron ding times na we were able to go to Baguio. So, I will always treasure those moments. Pero yun nga, hindi siya usual. Hindi kami yung tipong pamilya na pupunta sa ibang bansa every summer or mag-Hong Kong Disneyland pag birthday nung isa sa amin. Wala talagang ganun. So, hindi ako sanay sumakay sa aeroplano. Hindi ako sanay mag-travel ng madalas. Sanay lang ako yung back and forth galing sa Bulacan to QC, tas QC to Bulacan kasi nga madalas kami sa Manila even before I moved here dahil nandito yung mga kapatid ko, nandito yung iba naming kapamilya. That's it. Wala nang iba. So, I remember the first time I think I rode a plane. I was in grade 5 ba? Dahil yung one time na pumunta kami sa Bicol na naka-aeroplano, yun. Parang grade 4 or grade 5 ako. Yun lang. Tapos sobrang eksinong plane ride. So, wala talaga akong experience masyado in this area, kumbaga, of life. And then, comes my first job. So, kaya ko nasabing non-traveler ako kasi a few years ago, hindi talaga. But then, when I got my first job, which is still my workplace now, everything changed. So, my first trip for that job, kasi iba na yung job description ko now or job position ko now, kahit na same workplace. My first trip for that job was a trip to Bohol. So, immediately after I finished my classes, I got a job because my professor offered me a job. And as someone who was really, really scared to not get a job, I accepted agad. So, when my classes finished May 2022. June 2022, I got to rest. Pero actually, hindi siya rest kasi I was doing a writing workshop the whole month. And then July 1, I started working already. So when I started my work, I was suddenly thrown into this project, like a workshop, na gagawin sa Bohol. And then I helped now with the logistics and everything kahit di ko alam paano mag-book ng plane ticket, di ko alam yung logistics ng aeroplano, yung health insurance ng guests, hindi ko alam. So I was just figuring it out as I go. Pero turns out I was going to Bohol with a team. I was like, okay. And I was really, really scared kasi I don't know my workmates that much yet. For context, July ako nag-start pero end of August pa yung graduation ko. So, okay, naayos na yung everything. Lipad na ako pa Bohol. Buti na lang, yung mga iba kong ka-work, nakasabay ko sa plane, going to Bohol. So, I wasn't totally alone. But it was my first time meeting these people or second time, ganun. Kasi pandemic din eh. So, hindi kami talaga nakikita masyado in person. So, anyway, okay na. Naman ako sa airport, nakalagpas naman ako sa yung mga check, ganyan. Tapos, nakasakay na kami aeroplano. Nakarating naman kami Bohol. May susundo naman sa amin. So, yun, okay na. Pero, hindi ako masyadong nakalibot sa Bohol dahil nga, workshop siya. So, full day things talaga siya. So, a few days na whole day. Pero may may field trip naman kami sa isang isla. So, nakita ko yung isla na yun. Pero hindi siya tourism thing ha. Nandun kami para makita yung impacts ng climate change dun sa isla nila. Pero may isang araw na dinala lahat ng participant sa yung man-made forest sa Bohol. Actually, very beautiful. And then, pumunta rin kami sa Chocolate Hills. So, naging friends na kami ng isa kong workmate na bago rin. As umakyat kami sa Chocolate Hills, ay umakyat kami sa Chocolate Hills, umakyat kami sa hagdan para makita namin yung Chocolate Hills, tapos green sila. Pero, yun, sabi ko, wow, nakita ko na yung Chocolate Hills. So, nun ko first naramdaman na nakatravel ako to somewhere new and it felt so far for me kasi hindi nga ako nagta-travel. And then I had to leave early. I had to fly back early because yung 'di ba gagraduate nga ako. I was a scholar. So, merong scholars night before graduation. Required ka pumunta dun sa scholars night kung scholar ka, kundi hindi ka bibigyan ng diploma. So, I had to fly early to do that and then graduate. So, nun pala ako nag-graduate after ng first work trip ko. Ganun siya ka-soon. Um, and then, ay, may, so, yun nga, like Bohol sa akin, ang layo na nun. So, with that, you can see na hindi talaga ako nakakalabas. Hindi pa ako nakalabas ng bansa ever. Ever. Nung time na kinuha ko yung trabaho na yun, I, the only time I was out of the country or out of the Philippines was when I was born. But I don't want to talk about that. Basta I was born somewhere else. But I don't remember that. I didn't grow up somewhere else. I was not shipped back, but I flew back to the Philippines when I was like 3 months old. So I really never experienced being out of the country, I'd say. And then I was also lucky enough to be able to go out of the country for the first time for my job. Which was Thailand. So we went to Bangkok, Thailand for another workshop, and it was my first time going out of the country. I was very, very nervous because I don't know how immigration was gonna go. I didn't know if masungit ba yung nasa immigration, babawalin ba ako kasi may mga narinig na akong ganong problema before. Hindi ko alam kung maharang ba ako dun sa inspection kahit na wala naman akong dinalang baril or anything. Alam mo yun, kasi honestly, nakakatakot ang airport para sa mga tao na hindi laging nagta-travel. Kasi paano kung harangin ka nila, 'di ba? Hindi mo naman kabisado yung kalakaran sa airport, tapos ang laki-laki na nung ginastos mo dun sa ticket and accommodation mo and everything, tapos bigla kang harangin. Nakakakaba siya. I think anxiety-inducing experience to go through the motions of the airport. So ayun, we went to Thailand and I got to see a 7-Eleven that's not in the Philippines, and they sell different things. At the time, I was really, really obsessed with Sunny Angels. Ito yung first few months of my Sunny Angel obsession. And I got to Sunny Angels from Bangkok. And then, it was also my first time to be in a country kasi nga hindi pa ako nakakapag-ibang bansa na pwede yung marijuana. So, we would see shops na nagbebenta ng marijuana or like other things na, I mean, anything weed related, ganon. I also got to see, I think it's called the Golden Buddha. At first when we were going to the temple, I was like, ano ba makikita sa temple? But then I didn't realize how beautiful temples actually are until I saw them. I also didn't realize how big the Buddha was going to be. I was genuinely in awe of the Buddha I saw, and sobrang malaki siya talaga. As in, I think it is a common experience na when you go to a different country naman, you feel so small and it manifests in different ways. But I will always remember that moment, seeing the Golden Buddha for the first time. So, ayun, that's how I became a person who travels. It's because of my job. So, a lot of people ask, ano ba talagang trabaho ko? Kasi people see on TikTok na I get to travel, ganyan, for work, I'd say. And then they're like, what do you do? What's your work? And it's so hard to explain in a comment. I don't think I've told people what my job is. I mean, what the job title is, but I haven't really explained how it works. So I think I'm gonna take the time now to explain. Okay. So when I first started at my workplace, I was a research assistant, and then I was a research assistant and program coordinator. Um, and it entailed a lot of traveling because the institution I work in works with a lot of different partners all over the world. Our funders are also from different parts of the world. So, may mga events na we're required to go to a different country to do the event because the funders there. So, depende siya sa sitwasyon. Or for example, the workshop that we did in Thailand, um, it's Southeast Asia negotiators. So, dahil manggagaling sa iba't ibang Southeast Asian countries yung participants, we settled on Thailand na lang. And the funder was also based in Thailand. So, it's just reasonable to do that. So, what do you do when you're a research assistant and program coordinator, or what do I do? It's hard to describe kasi when you're in an NGO, um, hindi siya, ano siya, very fluid siya. You would find, at least for me ha, when I started, I was the only RA of our team. So, I would find myself doing a lot of different things. Yun nga, I would do logistics. So, ako yung magko-coordinate ng schedule ng flight ng mga tao going to a workshop. If we have a workshop, I help with a financial report. So, the expenses of that trip or that event, I help out with that, filling up the forms, coordinating with accounting. Other things that need to be booked, accommodation, venue, the per diem of the participants, and sometimes a per diem of the people who I'm working with na lilipad din. And then substantive work, I would help write briefs or guide questions for data gathering. Yun. As in, iba-iba talagang klaseng trabaho. I would also sometimes help with comms. So, dahil nga yung nature ng work we have a lot of partners, and every partner is from like a different area of the world. Kailangan nyo talagang mag-travel para magkita-kita. Yun talaga siya. I hope that makes even a little bit of sense. I wanted to talk, I guess I also wanted to share other places I was able to go to. I think also for myself, so I remember. Because one of my biggest regrets doing this job is that I did not personally vlog the trips. So, of course, it's still in my memory, pero iba pa rin yung i-vlog mo talaga siya. So, I did for Nairobi, but that's the only one na na-vlog ko talaga. And di ko pa rin siya na-edit. Anyway, so allow me to share with you the other places I've been able to visit. So, I was able to go to Davao once pa lang. Pero, first time ko nun makapunta sa Mindanao. Tapos, nagsabi nila sa akin, kailangan mong humalik sa lupa or sa bato, ganyan. Because that's what they tell people who aren't from there. Parang niloloko ka nila ganun. In a light-hearted way naman. And then, they would always ask me, nakakaintindi ka ba ng Bisaya? Kasi if hindi, ibebenta ka namin dito. So ngayon, dahil marami rin akong workmates na Bisaya, some of my closest friends from work are Bisaya, nakasabot gamay. I know a few words. Lami gyud, lami kaayo, salamat kaayo. um, padulong ko didto, which is papunta na kami dyan. Ko did, padulong mi didto, papunta na kami dyan. Parang ganun. Um, yawa, no yawa. Ano pa ba? Tugnaw, which is cold. So yun, marami na akong na-pick up in the past few years. First time kong makatikim ng kinilaw sa Davao. So kinilaw, kung hindi niyo siya alam, kilawin. It's basically the same way of cooking. Pero isda siya. So hindi ko pa na try yun before. Tas yung medyo yung niluto lang siya sa vinegar, so medyo raw pa yung feeling nung isda. Sobrang sarap. Oh my God. Sobrang sarap niya talaga. Lami gyud. Lami gyud kaayo sa sobrang sarap niya. And then, ano pa bang natikman ko nun? Nakatikim akong pastil. I think yung chicken na nasa taas ng rice. So, pumunta kami sa Davao Night Market. Nakahanap ako ng tote bag that I still have now. I the next time I was able to leave the country after Thailand was to go to UAE because we had to go to Dubai for a big conference, a big UN conference. So again, as part of my job then, we go to COP. So what's COP? COP means Conference of the Parties. It is an annual conference hosted by the UNFCCC or United Nations Framework. What? UNFCCC. Basta Climate Change Commission siya ng UN. So, dun sa conference na yun, sa COP, nagagather lahat ng negotiators from different countries. Tapos, basta nagtatalo-talo sila or nag-unite sila para lutasin ang problema ng climate change. And my feelings about the conference and like other people's feelings are a different thing. Pero kaya kami nakakapunta kasi we come as observers of this conference. And then we report back on what happened. Ganyan, we document the process that we are able to witness. So, yung COP na napuntahan ko sa Dubai siya. Nung nag-Dubai kami, na-confirm ko na marami nga talagang Pinoy sa Dubai. Kasi honestly, halos lahat ng nakaharap sa'yo sa store, yung mga clerk, karamihan talaga sa kanila ay Pinoy. So, I didn't even feel like there was a language barrier because I would just find myself speaking in Filipino anyway. Dubai, buti na lang nung nagpunta kami sa Dubai, I think it was December. So, hindi masyadong mainit. Pero, tirik talaga yung araw. I forgot na wala nga palang ulan sa ganung lugar. So, medyo na-shock ako na, oo nga no, wala rin talagang clouds dito. Kasi I guess it is a desert. Ano pa bang comments ko sa Dubai? Sobrang lakas ng aircon nila everywhere kasi nga siguro sobrang init. Tapos yung mga overpass nila na napuntahan ko, para silang enclosed tapos naka-aircon din. Ganon. Super crazy vibe. Medyo, siya, parang yung mga makikita mo na futuristic places sa mga sci-fi or dystopian novel, ganon, or movie. May times na akala ko Pinoy yung nasa storefront tapos yun pala Nepalese sila. Kasi medyo actually, I discovered na medyo magkahawig pala yung mga Nepalese tsaka Pinoy. Kasi meron once tinatagalog ko siya na parang hindi na ako kuha niyan. Kasi she was asking me if I wanted something else. And I was like, hindi na po. And she was just staring at me. And yung Pinay na nasa likod niya kasi rin siya, clerk din siya, was like, hindi po yan Pinoy. Taga Nepal po siya. So, ayun. And then I also went to Cagayan de Oro. Um, my favorite thing from when I went to Cagayan de Oro was that we were able to do the whitewater rafting activity. Takot na takot ako nung una kasi akala ko balsa talaga siya, as in bamboo. Hindi naman pala. Hindi pala siya ganon. Akala ko ganon siya ka basic. Hindi naman. And then, obviously, may mga guide naman talaga na tutulong sa inyo. Akala ko kasi babangga na kami sa bato, ganun. Pero sobrang saya niya. And then, another thing that was my favorite from the Cagayan de Oro trip was, nung may time na umalis karamihan nung cowork ko, nakasama ko for a different event, and I wasn't part of the event. So, I went to their mall. Tapos, sa mall nila, meron pang king corn. Wala nang king corn dito. Pero dati meron. Sobrang favorite namin yun ng ate ko. Tapos, nun na lang ulit ako nakakita ng king corn. So, kumain ako ng king corn sa mall. Sobrang simpleng bagay, pero I was really, really happy I got to do that. And then, I got to go to one of my favorite trips ever. I got to go to Bonn, Germany. So, remember I mentioned na nagpupunta kami dun sa COP, sa Conference of the Party, ng parties ng UNFCCC. Meron pang isang event na parang pre-COP. So, every June, pumupunta yung mga tao na nasa climate space to Bonn, Germany to witness the pre-COP, which is called SBs, subsidiary bodies, which is basically yung subsidiary bodies yung uusap-usap tungkol sa mangyayari sa COP. So, yun siya. Parang preparation siya. June yung SBs and then November yung COP usually. Although, nung nagpunta kami sa Dubai, it was held in December. So, anyway, lagi siyang, while COP changes venues every year, SBs is always in Germany. Always in Bonn, Germany. So, I was able to go. Very, very thankful I was able to do that. So, nag-observe kami doon. One of my favorite experiences ever. Firstly, professionally, easier to understand siya for me compared to COP. Less overwhelming din siya. And personally, it's always been my dream to go to Europe. So, to be able to go to Bonn, Germany was such a dream. I never even thought I would be able to go to Europe at all. Akala ko sa bucket list ko na lang talaga siya na hindi ma-check. So, nagpunta kami sa Bonn. It's a quaint little town na usually daw doon nagre-retire yung mga senior citizens. So, a lot of old people there. Tapos, makakaamoy ka rin, you'll smell weed there everywhere. Not naman everywhere, but like you randomly smell it. Memorable trip also because we had to travel so far. As in, siguro mga 16 hours yung travel namin. Which is like, wala lang yun compared to other countries. Pero sobrang di ako sanay. Pagod na pagod ako. Parang nabugbog yung katawan ko. And then, we also had to ride the train pa after we got to Frankfurt to get to Bonn. Sobrang ganda talaga ng, at least in Bonn, sobrang ganda ng structures. As in yung classic European town that you imagine from the movies. Ganon talaga yung itsura niya. Tapos pati yung tunog ng streets nila, parang sa mga pelikula. And then, yung mga bulaklak sa gilid ng kalsada, mga rose, ganon. Tapos sobrang colorful. Kasi nga, the weather's different. The one thing that I will never forget is that they said it was gonna be hot in Bonn. Not naman hot, pero parang sa Pilipinas lang or just a bit cooler because it's gonna be summer. Pero nung pumunta kami, hindi, parang chinek namin 15 degrees. Sabi namin, okay, parang, sabi nila sa akin, parang aircon lang daw yun or parang Baguio. Hindi, girl. No. It was lower when we landed. Parang nasa 12 lang yata. Tapos sobrang lamig talaga. For me, as a Pinay. Tapos, naka-jacket lang ako naman. Yung piece ganun, naka-t-shirt lang ako, tsaka pants. Tapos sabi ko, oh my God, ito yung weather dito. Sobrang lamig. Tapos nung una, masaya pa. Pero nung susunod na araw, sobrang lamig. Yung damit namin, parang hindi talaga kami prepared ta sobrang hangin, makulimlim. Not before, hindi tinetake for granted ko kung anong changes na ginagawa sa weather ng pagiging makulimlim at pagiging mahangin. Pero doon, ramdam mo talaga siya. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng tips mamaya tungkol sa mga yan. Pero, yun. Sobrang, for me, Bon is very, very beautiful. It's so, so nice. Super walkable. Very clean. Pero hindi masyado masarap yung pagkain. For me. Also, in Europe, hindi, yung mga kape nila, girl, una, wala masyadong iced coffee. At least in Bonn, Germany. Di ko alam kung sa Bonn lang yun. Tapos, wala sila, 'di ba, dito sa Pilipinas pag pumunta ka sa coffee shop, ang dami-daming iba't ibang klaseng latte. Tapos may specialty pa per coffee shop. Doon, girl, wala. Pare-parehas lang na doppio, latte, ano pa ba? Mocha, cappuccino, ganun lang talaga. Tas it's usually a warm drink kasi nga malamig dun. Pero hindi ako sanay sa ganung pamumuhay. Sobrang lamig talaga when we went. Pero this year daw, nung pumunta yung mga tao, hindi naman daw ganun kalamig. So I guess, odd summer talaga nung pumunta kami. And then of course, when I went to Bonn, nag-side trip na ako kasi pinayagan naman ako. That's one of the things that I'm very, very grateful for, na pinapayagan kami mag-side trip na ganun. Siyempre, sarili na namin gastos yun. Pero 'di ba, yung fact lang na you are given the time to do that. So, I went to Brussels kasi nagpahanap ako sa lola ko na pwede kong stayan na host family na Pilipino. Tapos, meron siyang kilala sa Brussels. And so I went there kasi gusto ko rin naman talaga mag-Belgium. More because I wanna get Belgian chocolate. Naalala ko kasi yung lola ko dati nung pumunta siya sa Europe, bumili siya ng mga random Belgian chocolate tapos sobrang sarap. So nagstay ako sa Brussels. So what happened is that pagkagaling ko sa Bonn, nag-travel ako mag-isa to go to Brussels. Buhat-buhat ko yung napakabigat kong maleta na 20 kilo. Hindi naman 20 kilos, mga 14 kilos. Pero malaki yung maleta kasi for 20 kilo luggage nga siya. Sumakay ako ng train mag-isa at lumipat ako ng train on my own. I think twice. Nakasurvive naman ako. Pero mabaho yung katabi ko. Anyway, ay isa pa pala na nashock ako sa Bonn ay everyone's light-haired, blue-eyed. Di naman everyone, pero most of them are really light-haired, blue-eyed. Wala kang makikitang black yung tumutubo na buhok sa ulo nila, ganun. So, medyo spectacle talaga kami dun kasi, I mean, we're very Asian and we're very short. And then so yun, pumunta ako sa Brussels, sinundo nila ako sa station, very lovely family, I love them so much. Thank you kila Tita Alice na nagpatira sa akin when I was there. Tapos nakagamit na ako finally ng kutsara tinidor kasi walang kutsara tinidor doon. Ang ginagamit lang nila itinidor at kutsilyo. Nakakain ako ng kanin, ganyan. I really appreciate them, the family, kasi sobrang inasikaso talaga nila ako. When I stayed with them, I also we toured around Brussels. Yung anak nila, tinur ako. Tapos, I went to Amsterdam by myself because Amsterdam was really, really the dream when I was 16 because obviously of The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Honestly, hindi The Fault in Our Stars yung favorite John Green book at the time. It was Looking for Alaska. Pero The Fault in Our Stars is so iconic. Tapos yung movie, iyak ako ng iyak. It just like encapsulates my teenhood, I think. So I thought to myself, I owe it to 16-year-old me to go. And so I went because I would probably never be able to do that again. And I've been wanting to go to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. So I went to Amsterdam. pinabaunan pa ako ng tinapay at kape nila Tita Alice. And then, nakarating naman akong Amsterdam. Naglakad-lakad lang ako, ganyan. And then I went to the museum. I looked around. I bought magnets. I bought pasalubong. Tapos, I went home. I traveled to Brussels again. Pero, nagkaroon ng aberya sa train, tas hindi ko maintindihan. So, I really had to ask other passengers. Tapos, nag-hope na lang ako na marunong sila mag-English. Swerte ako na yung nakausap ko ay English siya. She was an English woman. So, I think, friendly siya sa akin. Tapos, in-explain niya sa akin ano na mangyayari, saan ako lilipat, ganyan-ganyan. Very, very grateful for that. And then, the last destination I went to was Bruges with si Marivon, the daughter of yung couple na nag-adopt sa akin sa Brussels. So, sobrang ganda sa Bruges. As in, para siyang fairy tale. And again, it's like classic European town in your imagination is what I would say. Kasi hindi ako magaling sa architecture. Pero sobrang ganda na talaga. Oh, and when we also did a side trip to Cologne with my workmates nung nasa Germany pa ako. Very beautiful cathedral. I was so gagged. It was like the Golden Buddha moment na, oh my God, sobrang laki niya. Looked like Harry Potter. Like Hogwarts. Anyway, so ayun. Other places I've been able to go to, I was able to go to Baguio a couple of times. Which wasn't the case before. As in, medyo madalang kami sa Baguio. Pero ngayon parang, wow, hometown ko na ba ang Baguio? And then, I also got to go to Borongan. Cute town actually. Wala naman masyadong makikita sa Borongan. I went there for a workshop. Pero yung plane nila, maliit. Tapos once a week lang yung biyahe papuntang Borongan. You have to fly Monday and to Borongan. And then if you wanna go back to Manila and fly, you have to leave Friday. So magsistay ka talaga ng ganun katagal. Unless you go to, you ride the ferry or whatever, I think. Or drive to somewhere else to ride the plane. And then, nagbatangas rin ako, which is, I mean, nakapagbatangas naman ako before. Nothing special for me. I don't want to talk about the details, but I had to ride the bus actually going back here kasi there was an emergency, a family emergency. So, sumakay ako ng tricycle papunta sa terminal and I was like, my probinsyana self is so ready for this, ganon. And then, yun nga, the most recent one was Nairobi. Yung sa Nairobi, we went there for a workshop. We didn't host that, pero nag-attend lang kami as a partner nung funder. Grabe, wala rin Asians masyado kang makikita. So, kami na talaga yung Asians na makikita mo sa kalsada. Matatangkad yung tao and there's so many beautiful birds just around. My favorite one was the marabou na naalala ko, nasa expressway kami papunta sa hotel. Tapos, sabi nung driver, kasi sabi namin sobrang ganda ng mga ibon nila doon na random lang. Sabi niya, oh, we'll go to the expressway and you'll find a really, really large bird. And there's many of them. And they're called the marabou. Tapos sabi ko, okay, cool. Tapos pag akyat namin, para siyang skyway, makikita mo sa top ng mga lamppost tsaka sa top ng trees na sobrang daming malaking ibon, para siyang vulture but even bigger. Tapos nandun lang sila hulking and they're like, it was so beautiful. They're kind of scary but it was such a beautiful moment. I wasn't even able to take a picture because I was so amazed. Again, one of those moments na parang napanganga na lang ako sa sobrang amazement. Ganon. And then, pumunta kami sa safari, sa national park, pagpakain ako ng giraffe, ganun. Nakakita kami ng lion na nagtatago sa damuhan. Very fun. And then, we got to see elephants also. And then, I went to Coron a few days after that trip for another work trip. And then, nag-tour kami. Sobrang ganda ng coral reefs sa Coron Islands. As in, grabe, sobrang healthy ng corals dun. I don't have anything else to say but sobrang daming isda rin. Um, so my feelings about traveling, as I naka-note siya sa notebook ko, one is, it's very cool and amazing, as in, new animals, new trees, new food, new words. Yung trees yung nagulat ako kasi lalo na sa Europe when I went, ibang-ibang itsura ng mga halaman, parang nasa iba kang mundo, ganun. So, that's one thing I noticed na I'm always so amazed by the difference when it comes to plants and of course everything else. Um, Second is, I'm so lucky who gets to do this without worrying about flights or accommodation. Obviously, I don't get to libot as much, pero still, 'di ba? Kasino pang magrereklamo. Third is, I would not be traveling if not for my job. So I again am very very grateful. Next is though, it can get very tiring lalo na pag laging nagta-travel kahit na out of the country tapos in the country yung susunod. Nakakapagod siya. The travel time, going to the airport, having roommates, your routine being overhauled dahil nga naka nasa ibang bansa kayo, nakalambitin yun. And then, of course, missing family, missing home. When I got the dog, missing my dog. So yeah, last part of this podcast episode. Sorry, parang andal-dal ko this episode, no? Anyway, so, traveling tips from a non-traveler. Wait, sorry, naiihi ako. Oh my gosh, wait for me. Walang cuts to. Okay, hello, sorry. Sorry. Oh my gosh, super sorry. Okay lang, mahaba naman tong episode na to, so nakabawi na ako sa inyo. Anyway, so let's move on to the traveling tips from a non-traveler until very recently. Siguro I'm looking at this with fresh eyes, so sana makatulong talaga siya. First is, get a sturdy maleta. Kung afford mo at tingin mo lagi kang magta-travel, bili ka na lang ng maleta. Ako hanggang ngayon, honestly, hindi pa ako bumibili ng sarili kong maleta. Pero alam ko dapat bumili na ako noon pa. Second is, packing cubes will save you. As in, having divisions kasi sa maleta mo, mas madadalian ka. Pero hindi ako actually laging nagpa-packing cubes. Depende gaano ako katagal aalis. Another alternative for me is that paplanuhin ko na talaga lahat ng outfits ko for the trip. Tapos, ipapack ko na yung magkakapartner. Tapos, pipicturan ko pa sila. As in, nasuot ko yung outfit bago ko ipack para hindi ko makalimutan. Medyo tedious siya para sa ibang tao na type B. Pero kung type A ka, very, very helpful yun. Hindi mo na kasi isipin pag nandun ka tapos hindi ka na magsistress about it. Next one is always bring conditioner, lotion, and wet wipes. So, conditioner kasi may mga hotel na walang conditioner. So, lalagkit yung buhok mo. Pero kung particular ka sa shampoo at sabon, magdala ka na lang din kasi it's just safer to have. And then next is lotion kasi minsan walang lotion sa accommodation nyo and kung malamig dun sa pupuntahan mo, magda-dry yung skin mo. Last is wet wipes. Sa ibang bansa, merong mga places na walang bidet. Yun na lang sasabihin ko. And then next is wear a mask on planes. So, in planes, kapag alam ko naman na hindi na tayo masyado nagmamask ngayon, pero for me, especially sa planes at kahit sa airport, mas safe na magmask pa rin kasi ang daming tao na nagta-travel na may sakit, and the last thing you want when you travel or when you get to the place that you're going to ay biglang magkasakit. So, just better to wear masks or wear a mask. And then, magbaon kayo ng Berocca kapag magta-travel kayo. Tapos, iinom na kayo agad ng Berocca pagdating nyo dun sa pupuntahan nyo. And then, bring a book to read sa eroplano kasi may inip kayo. Ako, honestly, mas gusto ko nagbabasa sa eroplano kaysa nanonood ng movie kasi parang hindi ako makakonsentrate pag nanonood ng movie sa eroplano, lalo na kakain, tapos tas may wire pa yung headphones. For me, hassle na hassle siya. And also, you don't really get the time to read like that aside from when you're on a plane. For me, nagbabaon ako ng Kindle kasi may Kindle ako. Pero if not, you can also just bring a regular book. For me, mas madali lang yung Kindle kasi you don't have to worry about the light and everything. And then, next one is use a belt bag at the airport. One of the most useful tips for me is to have a belt bag talaga. Kasi dun mo ilalagay yung passport mo, dun mo rin ilalagay yung wallet mo na nandun yung local currency. It's much safer that way for me. I feel much more secure like that. So, may belt bag ako, pero meron din akong dumpling bag from Uniqlo for my other essentials. Mas madali kasi siyang i-access for you at mas mahirap din siyang manakaw ng ibang tao. Next is bring dollars for emergencies or have the local currency in cash on you. Never, ever, ever, ever travel cashless. For me, that's a big risk. Kahit na pwede ka mag-withdraw anywhere, I think it's just better to have cash on you. Kahit na nag-accept sila ng credit card, just better to have cash on you. Kahit konti lang. Because you never really know. Tas paano kung sobrang laki ng withdrawal fee? Alam mo yun, ako nanghihinayang lang ako sa mga ganun. So, yun. Pero if you have dollars, I think makaka-survive ka naman, makakapagpapalit ka naman nun anywhere sa mga airport. Pero for me, kung magpapapalit din kayo ng cash to the local currency, if you can help it, wag kayo magpapapalit sa airport kasi mababa ang exchange rate sa airport. So, do not do that yourselves. Maghanap na lang kayo ng iba. Tapos yun nga, kung okay lang sa inyo mag-withdraw na lang kayo. For ako, ang ginagawa ko, nagpapapalit ako ng konti dito sa Pilipinas para may baon na ako pagpunta ko doon. Okay. Next is try to adapt to the time zone immediately. So, meron akong mga kakilala na sobrang pagod nila after riding the plane. Matutulog sila pagdating sa hotel kahit na darating sila ng umaga dun sa place. For me, you're making it harder for yourself when you do that. So, tiisin nyo na lang yung pagod. Wag na kayo matulog. Okay lang na wag kayo masyadong magliwaliw wag kayo masyadong magpakapagod on the first day. Medyo chill lang. Pero wag kayo matulog kasi may hirapan kayo matulog sa gabi kung gagawin nyo yun. Next is document your travels. Again, one of my biggest regrets is that I did not vlog my many trips to different places. Of course, I have photos, pero iba pa rin talaga yung mapapanood mo yung video na ginawa mo of that trip. Next is buy data or an eSIM to navigate or contact people. Life changer to. Siguro kasi hindi naman ako nakaka-travel ng ibang bansa nung hindi pa ako makakabili ng data. Pero, nagpunta kami sa Bangkok, di ako bumili ng roaming. Tapos tawag pala sila ng tawag sa akin kasi may emergency. Tapos hindi ko sila nasagot kasi naglalakwatsa ako. Pero, I mean, hindi ko naman kasalanan na hindi ako bumili ng data. Pero it's just better for emergencies. And then the other times naman, I got roaming na from Globe kasi Globe ako. Or eSIM. Kasi nga, kailangan ko talaga yung data. Mas madali rin magkontakan pagka may data kayo. And hindi kayo matatakot na naliligaw kayo kasi may data naman kayo. Kumbaga, if you have data, you have the power to go anywhere. At hindi kayo kung saan-saan mapupunta. Regarding eSIMs din, always check your phone kung pwede ba kayo mag-eSIM kasi merong mga phone na hindi pwede mag-eSIM or merong phones na naka-lock sa Globe so hindi nyo magagamit yung eSIM. Ang pwede nyo lang gamitin ay physical SIM. So there's a lot of that. Tas yun, hahanapin nyo na lang kung ano yung best eSIM or SIM for that country you're going to. Next is do side trips as much as you can kung you're there for work. Like I did. Nakwento ko naman yung mga side trip ko. Next is if cold or there is a possibility of the place being cold. These are the tips. First, bring tights and long sleeves. Wala akong long sleeves so nagpunta ako sa Bon. Jacket lang. Avoid that. You need to do layers. Yung tights, I had like a few pairs pero manipis sila so I still had to buy fleece tights na sobrang game changer niya. As in, parang buti na lang binili ko yun kasi kung hindi baka nanigas na ako sa lamig. Next is yun nga, layers are your friend. Next is scarf and a coat. So if you have a scarf at home, bring that. Kung meron kayo nung mga hat na matatakpan yung tenga nyo, also bring that. Next is, for your makeup, bring cream products kung malamig. Kasi kung hindi, magdadry talaga siya. Tapos, you can't do heavy makeup masyado. At least in my experience, baka hindi lang ako magaling, pero magkikake siya. And then, bring moisturizer na medyo pangmalakasan kasi kung hindi, magdadry talaga yung mukha nyo. Honestly, ako, sobrang nagdry yung mukha ko nung nagpunta ako sa Europe. Pagdating ko dito, parang nagbabalat yung buong mukha ko. Ganun. So, kung meron kayong moisturizer na pangmalakasan, bring that. Next is, always bring a form of entertainment that can be used offline. So, yun nga, kung mahilig kayo magbasa, that download kayo ng game sa phone, download kayo ng movies, dala kayo ng game console or something. Basta ganong klase na or mag-download kayo ng podcast episodes, make sure you have earphones. Kasi pag nagta-travel kayo, there's just a lot of waiting time all around. So it's just better to be prepared for that and to not use up all of your data on your entertainment. And then next yun nga, bring earphones. And then lastly is, if you have walking shoes, use those. Lalo na kung maraming lakad-lakad sa travel nyo. That was my last tip. I think this is long enough. It's like 59 minutes. That's kind of crazy. I haven't done an episode this long in a while. And I'm not going to edit this. So, eto na talaga siya. Sorry ulit sa aking listeners na will have to listen to this episode na super raw and unedited. Might come off as lazy, pero it's just, I've been so busy again. I went to Nairobi and Coron this month and medyo mabigat siya. Um, I will try better. I wanna do more vlogs, edit more vlogs. So, bawi na lang ako dun, hopefully. Yun lang naman from me this month. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next month. Bye!